An event that was part of the 2019 Rogue Invitational shows up again in 2021. Event 5, the Mule, is next. Dread it, run from it. Destiny arrives all the same. It is the final event of the day for the individuals here at the 2021 Rogue Invitational. Thanks for being with us, everybody, here at Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas, as we close out the second day of competition. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Chase Ingram, and we're facing an event that we actually saw the first time that we had the Rogue Invitational. The Deadlifts and the Burpee Pull-Ups are back. It's the Mule.
It's the first repeat event we've had at the Rogue Invitational. As these things get more on, this being the third annual one, we have a repeat event. So we're going to retest our fitness, see if we've improved, and it's going to involve 2 minutes, heavy deadlifts and burpee muscle-ups, or burpee pull-ups.
And we are through 4 events. 3 events remain, and the standings become even more crucial right now. Toomey has regained the overall lead after the last event. She is now 10 points clear of Annie Thorisdottir, who sits in second. Gabriella Magala has moved herself into the top 3, courtesy of her performance in the last event. She leads Laura Horvath by 10. Just 4 women are above that 300-point mark. So spots 1 through 4 starting to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. Event number 5 is the Mule, presented by Romwad. Optimize your mobility. Get a free month trial at romwad.com/rogue. And as we said earlier, we have seen this event before.
That was the very first Rogue Invitational back in 2019 in Columbus, Ohio. A little bit more wet, muddy conditions that year. It had rained previous on the day before, but deadlifts at 315 and 225. I love seeing that weight more evenly distributed between the men and the women. And the burpee pull-ups, like you said, this is the very first repeat event we've ever had at the Invitational.
10 women in this opening heat, first of 2 heats here, in event number 5 of 7, the final event on day number 2 of competition here. And Carolyn Prevost in lane number 10 is someone to keep an eye on here.
If there's one thing Prevost loves to do, it's multiple sports, being successful at them, and the other is deadlifting. So not be surprised whatsoever with Prevost does well. But Holte announced her retirement last year after the CrossFit Games. This is one of her last individual competitions, but she's one of those athletes you never want to count out in competition, and she does surprisingly well in almost events you think she wouldn't do well in, which is one of the athletes you want to look for in this heat.
Kristen Holte will be in lane number 4. Holte coming in the overall standings in 12th place. Let's take a look at Carolyn Prevost in lane 10. We are underway. Event number 5, final event of the day for the women. Deadlifts and burpee pull-ups.
Keep your eye on the bottom part of your screen. Carolyn Prevost. The Rogue had sent out a challenge earlier this year that was very similar to this one, as a 21:15.9 of deadlifts at this weight and chest to bar pull-ups, in which Prevost actually had the best time in the world, and it was sub 2 minutes. And just look at how fast she gets through these. Now, burpee pull-ups is much different than just chest to bar, but it's still grit work. But getting a no rep on the first one is you got to get the chin clearly over the bar. If you remember from 2019, is they actually had to pull the chin over the top of that to establish a good rep.
Carolyn Prevost was the first woman to the burpee pull-ups, and now every woman except for Katrin Davidsdottir and Emily Rolfe in lane 1 are on the second movement of this couplet.
If you've never done a burpee pull-up, now they do have the pad, which is nice. It does take some of the difficulty of the jump up there for the athletes that are a bit more vertically challenged, but this movement is quite exhausting. Pull-ups are way easier than this, and they cycle way faster. Plus, you're adding the burpee in there. But there's a lot of coordination that comes into this. So you're doing a lot of looking down and looking up. You can get very disoriented in the middle of this movement.
First time we saw this event in 2019, it was in Columbus, Ohio. and they did not have those pads, and it was muddy out there. You had quite a few athletes getting dirt all over themselves in the process of competing in this event. Ariel Lowen is on the lead pace along with Danielle Brandon, Haley Adams, and Chrissy Aramo O'Connell. Carolyn Prevost up there as well. At the 42 rep mark, they will move back for their set of 15. 90 total reps here in event number 5, the Mule.
There's a few different techniques out there. Look at Sam Briggs just to the left of Caroline Prevost in the all black. She's going to jump and pull. That's a pretty natural one we've seen, but look at Davidsdottir to the left of her, is she's actually jumping with a full lockout and using more of a kip into that. And it's really player's choice. You can't really say one's better than the other or one's faster. And what Sam has is the ability to pull. We know that. That is something she's excels in, especially when you think about ring muscle-ups and bar muscle-ups. We're catching Davidsdottir not as much. And so that nice long arm position, this helps her get through these reps.
Carolyn Prevost and Danielle Brandon are back to the barbell. They got there first, and there's the speed that Prevost has on that 225 pounds. She is just ripping through these.
And really, if you have the ability to rip through these, you absolutely should. There's no reason to pace through that. Because the burpee pull-ups take so long, but there's not really a way you can separate yourself from the rest of the pack here unless you're just slow or just, you know, extremely short, where it just is going to take you a bigger jump to do so.
Danielle Brandon, Haley Adams, and Chrissy Aramo O'Connell are on to the burpee pull-ups for the second time, as is Kristen Holta. She just got there in lane number 4. And in lane 3, Ariel Lowen, she's in the purple top, working on her second set of burpee pull-ups. They got to get to the 72 rep mark to go back for 9 deadlifts at 225.
The burpee pull-up itself, it's comprised of 2 movements, but it's really 3, especially depending how tall you are. You have the burpee, you have the pull-up, but this jump, it's the same effort you would give to a max height box jump, not just your regular 20 and 24, because you are trying to get as much momentum into the pull-up bar and take that into your pull-up. So it's really a 3-part movement when you break it down.
Haley Adams has managed to catch Carolyn Prevost on this movement. So the lead that Prevost is gaining on the barbell, she's losing on the pull-up bar. Haley Adams now on the lead pace of Carolyn Prevost. They have a couple reps left before they go back for their final set of deadlifts.
And the only reason for that is that she's losing her advantage as we go from round to round. If this was 3 rounds of 21s, yes, but now we go from 15 down to 9. She's losing where she can gain time.
Prevost back on the barbell for a set of 9. At 81, she'll go back to the pull-up bar. Haley Adams is right there, but you can just see the difference in the pace between Carolyn Prevost, who we just saw, and Haley Adams. Prevost is done, and now 9 final burpee pull-ups for her. Now there goes Haley Adams.
Prevost got another no rep at the bottom part of your screen. That when you get down to the 9, you don't have a lot of room for error or room for mistakes. You can't just cut it close, even though you're trying to race here in these last final 9 reps.
And Haley Adams is starting to creep up, so this one could come down to a foot race across the finish line. Both of them through 85 of the 90 total scored repetitions. Prevost about a 1 rep ahead now of Haley Adams. Kristen Holta sits in 4th. She is in the purple pants, and Danielle Brandon trying to surpass her for 3rd place right now. Prevost just about done, and that is her final rep. Carolyn Prevost takes off for the finish line, and she is going to take heat number 1.
Now we thought we'd see that coming in, but I didn't think I would see that from Haley Adams. We know it's like the barbell isn't her best strength, but what she's good at is higher percentage weights for higher volume reps. And this weight played into the few barbell strengths that Haley Adams has.
Adams coming in 2nd, just 5 seconds back of Prevost. Danielle Brandon, Kristen Holta, and now Chrissy Aramo O'Connell have all finished, so half the field is in. Here comes Sam Briggs. And now Ariel Lowen will come across the finish line. 3 athletes remain: Carrie Pierce, Catherine Davidsdottir, and Emily Rolfe. Pierce is on her final set of 9 burpee pull-ups. Catherine Davidsdottir in the white top has just started hers. Pierce is in the red top next to Davidsdottir, and Emily Rolfe is at the bottom of your screen. She's now on her final set of 9 deadlifts. So Carrie Pierce will take off. There's a 6. We'll pass the 6-minute mark and now onto the 7-minute mark here. 2 athletes remain, Catherine Davidsdottir and Emily Rolfe.
And here's just coming down to the deadlift. And the unique thing about the deadlift itself, it's really, you're either good at it or you're not. It's either strength or it's a massive hole. And that's the unique part about the dead. There's not a lot of middle ground with that particular movement. And, you know, for Katrin, Emily, and even Carrie to a certain extent, is that just that weight at this rep scheme was just a little out of their reach.
Now Catherine Davidsdottir will finish up. Emily Rolfe with just 2 reps to go, and she will be in, and heat number 1 will be done, and it's Carolyn Prevost once again who takes the win in the first heat, 5:40.59 seconds, and Rolfe gets her last pull-up, goes over her barbell, and she will cross the finish line to close out this first of 2 heats. Carolyn Prevost looking for what would be the best result for her in this competition. She has yet to finish better than 17th in 4 events and comes in 20th place with just 60 points. So this could certainly help her move up the overall standings with 2 events remaining.
And it was Prevost, it was all about the deadlifts for her. In fact, she lost the most time here on the burpee pull-ups, and some of that had to do with just getting a few no reps in there. You start looking at that last heat and the athletes that we have there, there's not a lot of room for error. But we thought Prevost would do well based off the skill set. We know she likes to deadlift and deadlift fast, but how about Haley Adams just being 5 seconds behind Prevost at the end?
Haley Adams put on a good charge there. And like you said, a surprising result for her. Anytime you have a moderately heavy barbell, that's not a person who comes to mind, but she certainly did herself some favors with that finish. And Carolyn Prevost, again, trying to lock up her best finish of this competition. And when you win a heat, you definitely do yourself some favors. Carolyn Prevost walking off, hoping that her time will be good for at least something inside the top 5. Events number 5, once again, is the Mule, just 2 movements. Deadlifts at 225 pounds for the women, and then the burpee pull-ups. The second time we have seen this event at the Rogue Invitational. The first was back in 2019.
The thing I'm looking at the most here is, yes, it is a repeat workout, but the deadlift weight for the women at 225. Typically, we've seen that weight in competition or other competitions set at 205 with the 315. And I really do like that the weight is bumped up to, I would say, a more appropriate weight for these athletes. The female athletes over the last 10 years have evolved so quickly and exponentially. It's good to see the movements and the weights start to move in there, right? We haven't scaled cows, we haven't scaled rope climbs, and we're using weights that are more apt to the ability of these women.
Let's take a look at the overall standings after 4 events. And Tia Toomey decided that not being on top of the overall leaderboard was not something that she enjoyed. She reclaimed that in the last event. Now 10 points up on Annie Thorisdottir, who sits in second. Gabriella Magala, who finished second to Tia Toomey in the last event. She jumps into 3rd place, 10 points clear of Laura Horvath, as the top 4 athletes have really started to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. Amanda Barnhart sits in 5th, 265 points. She has a way to go to cut into Laura Horvath's lead.
When Annie Thorisdottir, she came in 10 points down. She came out 10 points up after 3, and now gave the lead back to Toomey by 10.
Top 10 women on the field, led by Tia Toomey, who will be in lane number 5. And the 2 women trying to track her down in the overall standings will be in lanes 4 and in lane 6. The 2 impressive youngsters, 2 17-year-olds, Emma Carey and Mal O'Brien, also on the field.
Yeah, well, why do you pair them up all the time? Just because they're teenagers? No, because they're actually tied on the leaderboard with the same number of points, and they're both inside the top 10. Mal O'Brien, one of those athletes who really likes to start fast, really get out there hot and get after it. I'm betting to see her come through and start pretty quick on the deadlifts. The other one is Emma Carey, just one of those, she's one of the more quiet and reserved athletes, but she has such a good presence about her in the moment. Emma Carey is a force to be reckoned with.
Second and final heat is underway, and everybody chasing the time that was put up by Carolyn Prevost in heat number 1, 5 minutes, 40.59 seconds. 21 deadlifts at 225 to kick things off here.
These weights are all familiar with these athletes over the years. Annie Thorisdottir in lane 6 in the red top, just blasting through these.
Annie Thorisdottir out early, and she will be the first woman to her set of 21 burpee pull-ups. Mal O'Brien in lane 8 is second. And this Laura Horvath and Tia Toomey close behind her, and Gabriella Magala is there as well.
Now, can you settle in to a comfortable, yet pretty much max intense pace? It is still a 21-15-9 couplet between the two movements, and though every rep takes a long time to do, you have to be at about max threshold if you want to be able to keep your pace with these athletes. Now, Toomey, who's in the center screen in the white and black, actually took a break on her first set of deadlifts in the round of 21, which is why she's sitting in that third place position.
Let's go down to the field where Kiki Dixon is standing by.
I spoke with Annie Thorisdottir, and she is very excited about this event, but it's not just because she won it in 2019. She's really excited to see how she performs after giving birth, after having her daughter Freya. Since 2019, she hasn't gotten back to her full weight 1 rep max deadlift, so she was curious to see how it was going to go with the deadlift. She did mention that she has a very quick and smooth burpee pull-up, and that's one of the areas where she can shave some time as well.
Thank you, Kiki. Annie Thorisdottir continuing to lead here as Tia Toomey is battling with Emma Carey, Laura Horvath, Gabriella Magala, and Mal O'Brien for second place. But Annie Thorisdottir all by herself right now as she gets close to closing out the round of 21. One more rep for her, and then it's back to the barbell for 15 deadlifts at 225.
Annie unbroken in the round of 21 and wasting no time getting to the bar in the set of 15.
Annie Thorisdottir coming into this event 10 points back of Tia Toomey. There are 5 points between each spot in the results. If you finish first, you get 100 points. Second is 95, third is 90, and we work our way down the overall standings from there. But if she beats Toomey by 2 spots, we're going to have a tie going into the final day of competition.
We've seen that flip-flop back and forth the last 2 events. In fact, we're looking at the leaderboard, and no athlete has yet to win multiple events on both the men and the women's side.
Annie Thorisdottir is back to the pull-up bar. Tia Toomey, Gabriella Magala, and Mal O'Brien, and now Laura Horvath are just getting to the barbell for their sets of 15. So Thorisdottir opening up a sizable lead here, but Toomey is staying close, just 1 spot back right now.
And if nobody else can get between Annie and Tia in this heat, it's the clock and the times in the previous heat that we're going to have to keep our eye on. 5:40 for Prevost and 5:45 for Haley Adams.
Tia Toomey now in second place behind Annie Thorisdottir, the two of them right next to each other. Thorisdottir's on the right on the burpee pull-ups. Toomey is on the left. Laura Horvath is now going back for her set of 15 burpee pull-ups, and Gabriella Magala as well. Top 4 women in the standings, top 4 women right now in the second and final heat. The time to beat belongs to Carolyn Prevost, 5 minutes, 40.59 seconds.
Trying to watch the pace by Annie Thorisdottir on the ride, as Kiki was talking about. She has such a smooth, consistent pacing here. She'll even do the same step back, step forward. She'll step up with the right, step off with the right.
Annie Thorisdottir done with her set of 15 and now back to the bar for her set of 9 deadlifts. Thorisdottir looking to get her second event win here of the competition. We have yet to see anybody in any of the competitions here win more than one event. She's looking to be the first.
She doesn't have a lot of time to do it, though. It's 4:30. The time to beat's 4:50. Or 5:40. Thank you, dyslexia. 5:40. So, yeah, she definitely has a time to get first place in this event, and that's much needed. Only thing she needs to hope for is that Tia, who's just getting to the barbell, does not get underneath those 2 times of 5:40 and 5:45 of heat 1.
Annie Thorisdottir looking to make up 10 points on Tia Toomey. Toomey on her set of 9 deadlifts. She is solidly in second place in this heat. Annie Thorisdottir now just has 4 reps remaining. And the time to beat again, 5:40.59 seconds. She keeps this pace. It looks like she's going to have a chance to rack up her second event win. Gabriella Magala on her set of 9. She's in the brown top, and at the bottom of your screen, that's Laurel Horvath returning to the barbell for her set of 9. Final rep for Annie Thorisdottir, and she will do it. And Annie Thorisdottir looking to pick up her second event win of the competition and possibly overtake Tia Toomey for the overall lead.
All eyes are on Tia Toomey.
And Toomey,
there's one.
Is going to be at least a tie. There's 2. So now Annie Thorisdottir will win the event. And the top 2 times from Prevost and Adams will be enough to get between Thorisdottir and Toomey, and that means that Annie Thorisdottir looking like she will be your overall leader heading into the final day.
And this is the competition we were hoping to see, but we didn't think it would be on the women's side. We thought we'd see some blows exchange back and forth on the men. But we've traded leader positions 3 times already today.
Here comes Gabriella Magala, and that's good news for her. She's trying to hold off Laurel Horvath, who's 10 points back of her for 3rd. Horvath is still working, and now she is making her way towards the finish line. Annie Thorisdottir in 2019 did this event in 6 minutes. 2019 in 6 minutes.
29 seconds.
29 seconds.
So I would say her test of the postpartum deadlift is going pretty well.
What an unbelievable season Annie Thorisdottir is having. As we saw Emma McQuaid come across the finish line, 6:41.55 for her. Now here comes Mal O'Brien. Mal O'Brien coming in 7th place, trying to gain ground on Emma Carey and Amanda Barnhart.
Also looking a little frustrated after that one.
But both Barnhart and Carey still working. Here comes Jacqueline Dahlstrom. Here, Turi Helgadottir is going to cross the finish line ahead of her. Now Amanda Barnhart is in. Mal O'Brien looking to creep possibly into the top 5 after this event. Emma Carey was able to get across the finish line as well, but it's Annie Thorisdottir who beats her time from 2019 by almost a minute and picks up her second event win of the competition. The first multiple event winner we have here at the games. Looks like she's waving to her daughter Freya, who is in the crowd. Freya in the pink there.
Oh, she's so amazing.
And Freya has to be proud of her mom.
Thank you.
And she's still getting better. 2 years ago, she beats her time by nearly 60 seconds. Just so smooth on the burpee pull-ups. Honestly, if you want to take a lesson on how to do these and pace these, that's the way you do it. And what a great feeling it is to be able to jog across the finish line at your own leisurely pace, wave to the crowd, put another 100 points in your back pocket, and then after it all set out, shake out and done, maybe seeing yourself on top of the leaderboard at the end of day 2.
It looks like that will be the case. Annie Thorisdottir is with Kiki Dixon.
Annie, we just talked about this. You were excited for this event for 2 reasons, right? You had done really well before, but seeing where you were at since having your daughter, how happy are you to see this finish?
I'm super happy. Like, I'm stoked. The deadlifts weren't unbroken. I could just feel this is where I should break up in the 15, but it was definitely the right strategy, and it didn't. I felt great throughout, so I am so happy.
You're the overall leader going into day number 3. How does that change anything? Does it change anything on the excitement level, on the way you take day number 3?
It doesn't change anything. I'm taking one event at a time and trying to do everything I can on every single event. I was a little disappointed with previous events, but you know, I did what I could. Half a second or 5 points, 3 seconds, 5 more points. It just shows that you cannot leave anything in the tank. The only thing it changes is that I wish the competition would be over now so I would just win, but you know, I just have to go really, really hard tomorrow, and I'm excited. Next event will be a very challenging one for me, which I'm pretty excited about too. So.
Sounds good. We'll see you tomorrow. Overall leader closing out day 2.
Annie Thorisdottir, her second event win. There is little Freya, who one day will be able to appreciate what her mom has accomplished here. And it looks like unofficially Annie Thorisdottir is going to be your overall leader. She needed to erase a 10-point deficit on Tia Toomey. She got some help from times in the prior heat from both Carolyn Prevost and Haley Adams. So it looks like she will at least have a 5-point lead on Tia Toomey. Again, that's unofficial, but after 5 events, Annie Thorisdottir, who has been in this sport since 2009, and this might be the best version of her that we have seen in a long time.
It cannot be understated of how incredible that is. And think of all the highs and lows that she's been through in her career. She missed 2013 due to injuries. She got heat stroke in 2015. She took a year off to have a kid, and it was not the easiest labor or carrying through that. She's battled some mental health stuff after the kid, and then coming into her own, where it looked like we watched her turn back into herself back there in Madison in August, and now it looks like she's picking up right where she left off, if not better than when she got third on the podium at the games.
Embracing her husband, Frederick Agidius. And Annie Thorisdottir came in looking for a spot on the podium, and right now she is on top of the overall leaderboard after 5 events. It's going to be an exciting final day for the women. 2 events remain for them. Don't go anywhere. The men up next as they take on event 5, the Mule. Stay with us here at the 2021 Rogue Invitational.